Welcome back to some more battles. We are in the Open Great League, and we got a different team to try out, featuring the Guzzlord paired with the Grumpig and the Clodsire in the back. So against the Blastoise, it kind of depends if they have Ice Beam. They do not. They have the Skull Bash version. We are able to survive that one, and now we're going to be able to fire off our Brutal Swing, take out the... Oh, doesn't quite KO the Blastoise. We try to farm down with the Grumpig, unfortunately unable to, and we get met with a Jump Bluff. Jump Bluff does decide to shield. We survive that Aerial Ace, and now we're just going to see if we can get to another move. Unable to, and now we're going to try to win the game with the Clodsire 2 shield. Looks like they only have Energy Ball and Aerial Ace, so we can tank that move. Sludge Bomb is super effective. Not quite the KO. We do shield there, and we're looking for the farm down. No farm down. We're going to have to tank a move. Aerial Ace is used. We can survive that. And let's see what they bring in. I think they bring in their own Grumpig, so this is going to be very, very tough. They try to sack swap there, but we are able to get that extra energy. And now we're going to try to win the game with our Guzzlord. Dynamic Punch is used. Trying to get to another move. Unable to. So we have to try to win this game with the Clodsire. Can we get to the move? Nope. Unfortunately, the Grumpig side waves are just too much. And unfortunate that they were able to get to 2 moves versus our Guzzlord. Not the greatest lead. We switch into the Grumpig and we get met with a Mandibuzz. Mandibuzz is going to be able to tank the fast moves and the charge moves. We only have one move that we can throw, Dynamic Punch, and all of this is just chip damage. They're looking for the farm down. Actually, they actually throw the move, so that will give us some hope because this Mandibuzz will have less energy. Aerial Ace is used, and we're looking for the farm down. We need energy advantage somewhere, somehow. So we get a lot of energy right there. We fire off this Sludge Bomb. Does a decent amount. And now we see the Cradily. Cradily here is going to throw neutral moves at best. We're going to fire off the Earthquake. They decide to shield it. And we're just going to shield here because we get baited. And we get the defense dropped. Sorry, the attack dropped. So that was the best of both worlds right there. We swap out into the Guzzlord so that we can fire off another Sludge Bomb. The Sludge Bomb here gets them low enough that this Brutal Swing might KO. We do end up grabbing that shield, and now we just go for the farm down. So, unable to get to the farm down, we have to shield here. Our opponent is going to be able to throw a move. Grass Knot isn't enough, and we gotta win this with the Earthquake. So GG's to our opponent, able to win that game barely with our Clodsire. The key right there was the Guzzlord throwing those Sludge Bombs towards that Azu and forcing that last shield. Okay, it looks like our opponent is staying in versus our Guzzlord. They fired off the Sludge Bomb. We are going to throw the Brutal Swing to chip away at their health. Earthquake is used with their second move, and we're looking for the farm down. Okay, one shield, we win the lead. We see the Cradily come in, so Cradily is going to be pretty decent against our team. Let's see what they throw here. Grass Knot is used, does some good neutral damage. They need to get to another one. Okay, looks like the Jolson decides to come back in. And we're trying to get to an Earthquake, but they don't allow us to. They're going to take us out with the Surf. And then we're just going to come in here with the Guzzlord. Already a move banked. Brutal Swing does get that shield. We switch on to the Grumpig. And then we're going to be able to outpace them to this Dynamic Punch. Let's see if it's KOs. Yes, it does. And now we just got to race to the move. Doesn't matter because we have a shield. And after this shield, we should be able to get to the Shadow Ball. Grumpig, Shadow Ball down goes the Jellicent. So GG's to our opponent, able to win that game because the Grumpig had a little bit of energy advantage, taking out the Cradily, taking out the Jellicent at the end. Alright, Guzzlord versus the Claydol. Claydol is interesting to deal with. We are going to be pretty bulky, and we fire off the Brutal Swing and we grab that shield. We shield here so that we... Okay, looks like they are going to switch out into their Guzzlord. We're going to go into the Clodsire here to at least do some neutral damage. We take the move here. Another Brutal Swing is used, and we're just going to overfarm. This Sludge will KO. Now we see the Claydol come back in. They're looking for the farm down. We fire off the Earthquake. They do decide to shield it. We're going to shield here so that we can potentially get to the Shadow Ball. And we do reach the Shadow Ball for the KO. And now let's see what they have in the back. Ends up being the Morpeko. Morpeko looking to fire out the Aura Wheel. Huge damage. We're going to come in with our Guzzlord. We catch a move. Ends up being the Psychic Fang. And unfortunately, their Thundershocks were enough to take us out. So GG's to our opponent. We needed to capture the first Aura Wheel. And if we didn't, we, as you can see, didn't have a chance. Alright, back again here. Let's see if we can end up on a good note. We have the Guzzlord versus the Oranguru. They swap out into the Lanoon. They are going to be spamming a bunch of Swifts, so we have to worry about the charge moves, not necessarily the fast moves. Here comes another move, ends up being the Swift. We're doing a good chunk of damage. We have a lot of energy. We're looking for the farm down. No farm down, unfortunately. We are going to have to double shield just to win the alignment. Luckily for us, we are going to be able to fire off 2 Brutal Swings. Here comes the Blastoise. Blastoise looking to get to 2 Hydro Cannons. There's the first, there's the shield. There's the first Hydro. And then we're going to switch out into the Grumpig. Grumpig hopefully can get the energy advantage that needs to win this game. Here comes the third Hydro Cannon. We are able to survive that. Oranguru comes back in, forcing us to use some energy. Luckily, our Grumpig is able to get to another Dynamic Punch. And now we're going to be able to get to this move here for the KO. So GG's to our opponent, able to win that game. Check out the team if you haven't already, and let us know if you enjoyed the video.